बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट मैटर है। इसको लिखते हैं रेडी 3, 2, 1 स्टार्ट। वोटिंग इज नॉट जस्ट आवर राइट बट आवर ड्यूटी एज वेल। A concept is well known by all democratic nations since most of the things are decided with elections. I personally believe that everyone should vote as everyone has a different opinion, and in our Indian democracy, we have the ability to choose who can preside over. This also gives us an opportunity to have a say in this political world. The entire purpose of a democracy is to be able to have a say in the political scenario, and this is to make sure that everyone's voice is heard. And this is what makes up a democracy with everyone participating in it. From a lot of the data, it is a known fact that young people do not vote, especially from the age ranging from 18 to 24. We can have different beliefs, but this does not mean that you remove yourself from the electoral process. On hearing these figures, I was completely shocked because people tend to assume that everyone votes, but this is not the case. Voting can be defined as a way of expressing own preference or opinion. This is important as everyone can get a say in the political world we live in, and this is what makes up a democracy. Citizens of the country complain about how our political climate is bad. To make these changes, we must vote, as you should remember that every vote counts. It is mostly the youth of the country from age of 18 to 24 that tend to not vote, and this causes a huge repercussion in the system as these are the votes that we need. If you do not like the way your country is running, then change that by voting and do not just complain. To make sure to run and take good care of our country, we must put in our votes. People believe that a single vote would not make much of a difference, but it is far from the truth, and people must realize it as soon as possible. Your choice of voting can have extreme impact on the people from around the world who mostly do not have the right to vote. We must realize that makers of the law are responsible for the various policies, laws, and system of the country for the future years, and we are responsible for how these policies, law, and system is to turn out by voting. A lot of people in other countries, like Afghanistan, cannot vote, and some even die fighting for this very right. Most countries have had their first elections in recent years because they are threatened by the Taliban and certain terrorists most of the time. Superpower nation like America set certain policies which can have far impacts on countries that do not have the same freedom to vote. Political leaders have a huge impact on the way the country presently runs, and in the future, it will make sure that we choose the right leader in a time when the political climate is changing, and we should be responsible citizens and cast our vote. The day when India freed herself from the shackles of the British, she gained her independence as a democratic country and set a new platform where everyone has the right to give his or her political opinion. This is the definition of democracy, where a leader is chosen after conducting a poll. The voters will put their choices in the ballot boxes from the available options. The candidate who has got the highest votes will be chosen as the leader. This is called an election. An election is considered the prime pillar of democracy, not only for the country, but the election can also be conducted in any case where public opinion matters the most. An election is also defined as a decision making process within a group of people sharing similar interests. For example, if you are a member of a club and you want to fill the vacant position of the president, then choose the most suitable person and let the others cast their votes. On counting, the highest vote winner will be chosen as the president of your certain club. This is how a democratic government works. In a democratic country, every person has the right to show his political views. It is the prime element of the nation. Going a step ahead, we need to find out that who can cast their votes. People of all ages will not be able to commend the importance of voting and choosing a leader. For this, one needs to be mature enough to understand the situation of the country. This is why the country's voting process has set the minimum voting age to 18 years. In India, people entering their adulthood at the age of 18 years can cast their votes. The second phase is to choose the candidates who can compete in a voting session and do campaigns. Election Commission has set a list of norms that a candidate has to follow to register his name as a nominee. It happens at the place where the candidate will have to file the nomination. The Election Commission sets the platform where the voting session will be carried in different states. A voting platform is set where eligible people will cast their votes. Based on the result, a political decision will be taken. Nowadays, the voting is done through EVM. The number of votes each candidate has secured will be counted and compared to find the winner. Elections are conducted regularly in every democratic country. The nominees can campaign in their respective areas to gather more chances to win the election. Individuals should wisely choose the right candidate. Voting gives us the power to choose the best leader in every session. If one is not performing up to the mark, he can be replaced in the next voting session. All we need is proper awareness of the public for making the right decisions. Stop.